A voice cried to me in the dawn of dreams, saying, "Make haste, the webs of death and birth, they are brushed away in all threads of the earth. To where to breaking, spaceward gleams, fine ancient pathways of the suns, whose flame is part of thee, and the deep gulfs abide Coeva Valley. Those darkness runs, through all thy spirit's mystery. Go forth and tread unharmed by blaze, one of the stars where thoughts, although the calmest of old days, pierce without fear each vast, whose hugeness crashed in thee not present past. A hand strikes off the chains of time, a hand swings back at the door of years, now fallen upon earth's and bonds and gladness of tears, and opens up a straight dream to space sublime. Who rides a dream of what hand I shall stay, what I shall not note or measure meet. His passage is on a purpose fleet, the thread and wavingness way, as I caught it from thee, from the clasping wound, and swept beyond the brisk of sense. My soul was flung and poised and swirled, like what a planet chained and hurled, with the solar lightning and strong intense, swift as the communicated rays that leapt from severed suns in a gloom, with whose though waste no sun illuminate. The winged dream fulfilled its ways, throughout years reversed and lit again. I followed that unending chain, wherein the suns are like links of light, retraced through the lineal ordered spheres, and twisting the threads of years, in weavings what of noon and night, though the stars and deeps I watch the dream unroll, those unfold from the raiment of soul, inkling laying dawns of memory, each sun radiance to relume, sealed this hues and darkened room, within the soul's immensity. Their alien chippers down a bit, and understood what each had writ upon my spirit's scroll. Again I wore in mine ancient lives, and knew the freedom to the gyves that formed and marked my soul. I delve into each forgotten mind, the units that have builded me, whose deepness before we are blind, and formless as if infinity, knowing again for each former world, from planet unto planet world, and though gulfs and that mighty divide, like the infernal sleep. One world I found, where souls abide, like winds that rest upon a rose, therefore they creep, to loose all the burden of old woes. And one was there, a garden of close, whose blooms are ground of ancient sin, and death within the sap that wells and flows, and the spirits that wept when dwell within it. And one I knew, where chords of pain with strodels filled the senseless lyre, and one where beauty's olden chain is forgotten anew with stranger loveliness, in flames soft links of never quenched desire, and in indelectable duress. There is no tesserendal dreams entrod, my vision entered undismayed, and the life here unhidden in the realms displayed. To me, to a curious God, whose colored suns of systems triplicate bestow on the planet's world infinitable green light orbs that light them like a outer sea, and large auroral moons that alternate with skies like sunset held without a blade. Life's touch renewed incomprehensively, the strains of mirth and grief's harmonious spell, dead passions like that to stars let shone through the gloom moon ways of forgot, where the crownless gods in darkness sit still, and the day was full altars hot. I heard and tinsel in those melodic seas, he's the central music of Pleiades, and alcone my soul, sway with the stars that owned her songs in control. Unchallenged, glad I trod, and irrelevant. In other words, endemic, lonely lost, are dwelt spears that sing to those through the space no light has crossed, diverse as hell's mad antiphone uptoss to heaven's angelic chant. What vast the dreams went out to find, I seemed beyond the world's recall, in gulfs where darkness is a wall, to render the strong antares blind. The unimagined spears I found, the sequence of my being's round. Some life where firstling mead of song, the strange imperishable leaf, was placed on the brows of starry grief, that had crowned and pained a jointed long. Some avatar like were love, sang like the last great star at the morn. Eerie the pale orb of death filled all of its sky, some life in fresher years unworn. Upon a world whereof peace was like a robe like to the claims that lie on the pools aglow with the latter spring, on time's preceded its surface took, clear image of all things, nor shook, till the black cleavings of oblivion's wing, some earlier in the awakening, in Princeton years, when giant strife of forces darkly whirled, first forgot did the thing called life, hot from the furnace and the suns, upon the anvil of the world. Thus I knew those were interior ones, whose lives were mine and blent, till my dream that held a night, where Regal sends me no message of his might, was emptied through the wooden stars, and dwindled to the sun's extent, the brain's familiar prison bars, the raiment of the sorrow and the mirth, walked by the shuttles in the grade of earth. What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Miss Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, stay pretty.